Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks, and starting with the NASDAQ. So with the NASDAQ here, we can see that there was some weakness on Friday, and that should follow through a little bit on the Monday as well. And we're seeing the 15,000 here being retested, which is quite a natural thing to see here in terms of when a market pushes up through a large number. It pretty much always likes to come back and check it. One of the things with the NASDAQ is we don't have a nice clean 5-wave structure to the upside here. So we would need to count this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So we'll give it a little bit of time here. So let's just go into the 20K here. So on the 20K, picking it up from that wave 4 there, we can view it as wave 1 and 2 here, and then wave 1 and 2 here, and looking at an A and a B and a C wave 2 come into play here. So really it's just a matter of we've been waiting all last week for this wave 2 to come into play, and yeah, I always like it if it can come below the level and then sort of come back up and find support by getting the first high above the level and coming back and retesting it again and then sort of pushing up from that point. So that's kind of what we're looking for over here, but in the meantime we can pull down here further. So the other question is, of course, well, can we view this as a corrective ABC pattern to the upside here? Yeah, we could do that, but I don't want to turn bearish unless I've got a really good reason to do that, and I don't really have that. I don't have a clear 5 waves down here as such, so I'm going to stay where I am. I always know that I need to be a little bit patient and not fearful when it comes to working around large numbers. So what this is this little effort that I mentioned here about coming below the level and then finding support on the level, well, this is actually a bigger picture of this here, where it comes below the level, comes back up above the level, so that would be this high here, and then coming back and testing the level again. So taking this top out would be the same sort of version as this, so to speak. So look, anything is possible, I understand that, but in the meantime I just want to allow this to play out. That was our game, and I'll just continue to play that. In fact, the S&P is a little bit different actually, in a couple of different ways too, that we pointed out last week. So what have we got here? The SPY here, the SPY. So this little move here on the full futures contracts, this was the low on the SPX. It was not the low, this was the low on the SPX. So there's different ways to view this. Where's the full contracts here for this? So yeah, in this instance here, it looks like a little bit easier to count off the low here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. Could we look at this as an A and a B wave here and then a C wave up there in that? Well, then I don't really have a good 5-wave structure down if I don't use this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So yeah, look, there are different ways to where's that XPX here? So this is a little bit different here. It hasn't got, it's got this as the low here, but it doesn't really finish off in a nice 5 waves here. So one would think that this would be a truncated 5th wave here. But then you start getting into sort of like, is it this or is it that? And, it's a little bit sort of unclear. So I just want to be a little bit patient in this. We've had this impulse wave up. We want to be a bit patient with this current move that's here. And yeah, in about, maybe we can't solve it in the next session, but the following session we should be able to resolve a lot of this. So come over to Apple, and also too we've got the earnings. So I've just put some of them are confirmed and some of them not confirmed. So they're all pretty much coming up in October and November. So I've just put this on the ones that I track here anyway. So yeah, so with Apple here, I've been looking at this as a wave 4. And once again, the move up here, trying to confirm a 5-wave structure to the upside here. So yeah, I mean, the point here too, it's rather a large wave 4 compared to wave 2 here. I understand that, and you could certainly put wave 1 over the top here. So there's a couple of different ways to look at this. The reason I put the wave 4 here, because it just ties it into the rest of the markets. But at the same time, what I wanted to do was just to, once we sort of call this low in here, is just to, continue to work the move to the upside and see how we can play it out as a 5-wave structure to the upside. So this is on 1,000 ticks here, and I was looking at it like this last time we spoke as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, because in the markets, these moves to the upside, we had two moves here. We had this situation where we had wave 3 in this case, and wave 4, and then wave 5, and then the other move was that, like we showed with the NASDAQ, wave 1 and 2 here, and then wave 1 and 2 here, and this type of thing. So these were the two patterns that were playing out. Now currently, as you can see here, we've got a nice ABC pattern here for wave 4, and normally they pull back 38.2% or to the wave 4 of one lesser degree. But yeah, so there's a little bit sort of messy in here. So there is the possibility of actually putting this wave 1 over here and bringing wave 2 back into this space here. Maybe I've got something like that on the 100 ticks down for 1,000. Nope, I don't have it here, but it is a possibility to view that as well. So I'll just see how this goes. I just want to wait a session, so I may have answers in the next session. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the world now in terms of friction. But it was interesting to see. I mean, obviously crude was up, but gas was down as well. I feel that was down reasonably strong. It was probably more technical rather than anything else. I know Israel's got a fair bit of gas out in that ocean they've got there. So yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of a bit weird that went down and not up, but yeah, there is a lot of friction in the world, unfortunately, a lot of division. Anyway, with this here, what we've been looking here is that the 180 here, and then we've got group 1 above and group 2 below. So we were looking at a classic trading levels pattern here. So we're looking for the arrival, the reaction, and then the first high above the level, and then the ABC. Well, this is what we've got over here. So if I can, in the next session or 2 sessions, and they don't always play out, but if the setup completes and we get over here, this is where we can look to go long. But I've got to be a little bit careful in case it is just a wave 4. So at the moment, if I looked at it as an A and a B and a C for a wave 4 here, that would be fine. But if it came down further here, then I could use it as a wave 2 here. And that would put us in a better long position, because the situation up here would just put us to here, and then another correctional pattern that will find support. If that actually finds support, well, then that will be meaningful for this one, So still a while to go before we get on the right side at the right time with all of this, okay? So nothing to do here at the moment with this market. And the earnings for Amazon are October the 26th. So I've had this one here as wave 3 with an A and a B and a C wave here, and that's fine. However, that is the top, and we do have 5 waves down here, so it's possible to have another 5 waves down here. And I don't have 5 waves up here just yet. I have it as 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1, and back for 2 again. And yeah, look, it could push up through here. But I need evidence of that now, that's the thing. So once again, we've got this number here, the 130, so it's top of minor group 1, and then group 1 and group 2 below it. So we need to see a little bit of a setup. I mean, we can go long above the top here, and then we can also go long above the second top here as well, but we want to see if we can get a better position than that. And also too, what we want is we want to see a little impulse wave to the upside, something like this here, a little 5-wave structure here to the upside, to help us confirm that we're going in the right direction here, because as I mentioned, it's possible that we do have an ABC pattern here. I've got this B wave here, but it's possible to have that there, so I don't know at this point. I mean, it comes down to, is this correction right as an ABC pattern here? Is that correct? Well, I'm kind of happy with, an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here. I kind of see 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and here is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It kind of makes a nice B wave here, but sometimes these things, it's sort of like, well, that was actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, and that's another whole wave in here, that little guy, So, but then I can't put a lot of weight on that either, obviously. So, so I'm just waiting for all last week we were waiting for a top and a turn, and we've got the top and the turn. So now we need to get some more evidence of a move to the upside. So don't have that yet. Let's just see how that plays out. We have to move past this corrective pattern here as an ABC pattern. That's the gist of it. NVIDIA, always a pretty strong looking sort of stock, and everything's sort of okay here except for the top here. I was never really I'm sort of happy with this top as well. Here I always felt this could be 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here away from that spike, and then up for 5 here, but that would leave 5 waves down here. So I think I do have that somewhere. It doesn't matter anyway for the time being. We've got this issue over here. So basically, it's moving along quite nicely here. The stochastics is pretty high here. So it also wants, it's had a nice run. Obviously, it's at the top here. Yes, they can flatline and all the rest of it, but at the same time, it does tell us that it is a little bit stretched. So we need to be mindful of that. It is pulling back, so we need to probably take that on board as a 1 and 2 at this point. So the logical thing here would be to view this as from the low here as wave 1 here, and then an ABC for 2 here. Now the ABC for 2 here, I was trying to sort of figure it out. Normally wave 2 is really just sort of simple and sharp. So I'll just go to 100 ticks. I'll just see what I've done over here for this. Yeah, I could look at it like this here as wave 1 over here, and look at this as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, the B wave, and then coming down for the C wave here and being finished. So yeah, I mean, the momentum's obviously to the downside, so yeah, it can come down a bit more, and if it was going to push up, we want to see 5 waves to the upside. That's what we want to see. Do you know what I mean? Then we can look for the other side of it over here, and then start to build in over here and all those sorts of things. But we're not there yet on this, that's the thing. And I'm not quite sure how to count this down. I'm not sure if this is the best way to count it down just yet. So, and it can come down further. This is the 50-60% down here. So maybe, maybe I could look at it as 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, 5 here, then an ABC, and then down for here. It's a bit big at this point, but there's a few things that can play out here. So I just need to wait, and I like to get the consensus of the market, because the consensus of the market for Friday was bearish, and things tend to trickle through to the next day, so it's quite possible that momentum to the downside is still there. It could be drying up, but it's still there. So Meta's next earning is confirmed on the 25th, so a fair way away. in this case here, we've taken out the previous high over here. So, with Meta, I'd always viewed it as one of the strongest. I don't cover all the stocks, of course, but out of the ones we covered, this was the one that was the strongest, and it also started its move up much before the other markets. Most of the other markets were around this date or this date here. Some markets are still moving down, like Netflix. So in this case, could we look at this here as I mean, it's made a new top here. This is the interesting thing here. Just think if we could count this as another way, but I mean, even if this was an A wave here and a B wave over here and a C wave down here, it would still be corrective. So the bigger picture would still be bullish. Do you know what I mean? Just to take away any sort of major bearishness in the market, so to speak. Bit difficult to count this up as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here. Even this doesn't work that much. So yeah, in this case, we did get stopped out of this. So we had got a small win out of it, but yeah, it just came down too far. So it's come down too far, so we need to look at it as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for 1 and down for 2 here. This is another one like NVIDIA. I have had a look at it, and I can see that there's different ways that, when it depends if you look at the aftermarket and things like that. So if I look at the aftermarket for, what is it, Meta. I could look at it as 1, 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave for the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave. It not giving me 5 waves here just yet, so probably another move down here. So the logical thing would be the A, the B, and the C down to this point, but it's just not strong enough to go off at the moment, because I could see that I could count it differently as well. So I haven't really sort of labeled it, but the momentum is down. This is short covering. I don't have 5 waves here. If we do get another little move up here, well, then that would be sort of helpful in terms of 5 waves, and we could call a low in, but it's not there yet. So I just have to wait for this. Okay, so nothing to do here at the moment. And Netflix, so it's on the 18th for its move here, and yeah, so I just imagine this. Even here, I can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as we counted as 1 and 2. The third wave's a little bit small, so I might need to open that up further. But this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so there's still a bit more downside to come here. I don't have a nice impulse wave to the upside. That's really what we're looking for at this point. So yeah, we could extend this all the way down to here, really. That's another way of looking at it, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then 4, and then 5 here. So there's different ways to view that, but we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. And we come over to Google, so its earnings on the 24th. So nothing close by at the moment for those. So I've been counting this up as basically we've got this as wave 4 here. We've also made a new high here, so another strong stock. We've viewed it as wave 1 and 2 and going up for wave 3 and 4 here. Now, as wave 4 here, that's fine. We can look at that as an A and a B and a C wave here. That's all good, but it needs to move up from that point. If it moves down any further, then it's moving down to, let me just check on this here. See, it's at the 50% already for this. So I couldn't call it a wave 4 if it dropped down any further. We were also looking at this on the 200 tick with a slightly different count. And the slightly different count here is wave 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 up here. So I would need to sort of look at this a little bit differently. Yeah, so if it dropped down again, if it did, then that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then a B wave, and then a C wave here. So that's quite possible at that point. I mean, I can have it here as an A, B, C here finished as well, but I'll just put this here. This is why I just need more time to understand these current lows here to see what we get, you know, that's all. At the moment, as I mentioned before, sitting in group 1 and group 2 here nicely, so we'll just see how that plays out. That could also go in there. It's at 50%, so yeah. I mean, the third question with this is, could we look at this as wave 1 to the upside? I think there's a case for that as well, but I won't go there just yet with that. What we're trying to, you know, this is basically buy the dip situation, but, you know, to do that, we want to be a bit more sophisticated and use Elliott to the best of our ability. So we'll just wait until we get an impulse wave to the upside. And Microsoft, so with Microsoft here, we've got this nice A, B, C pattern here. I don't have a clear 5 waves up there. I could force 5 waves up there. The only way I could do that is put wave 1 on the top here and call that wave 4 in here and wave 5 to here, but it's a little bit small, so I didn't want to go there. But it's possible. I could go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 once again. I could go an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here, but that little high made a high above here, so that's probably not the case. So I'm still on the bullish side. I just don't have any evidence, that's all. I just have to, once again, wait. And also here too, this is a little classic trading levels pattern here where we have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, some type of ABC here. Will it get any bigger? That's the question, you know what I mean? Obviously we can buy the tops, but you know, we may end up with a move down here further, and then we need that impulse wave there, and then we can start building in. So we can go long above the top. We just don't want to go long here at the moment. We want more evidence at this point. So we're getting there, because all last week we're over here going, oh, we've got to, you know, dragging it out, you know, trying to keep you entertained until we get to the other side over here. But, you know, we had to wait for this, and now we're getting this, and now we're over here, and, you know, should we, shouldn't we, all of this, you know, and we don't want to be in the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and the oh shit campaign, you know. So we have to just continue to wait and wait for that setup. And Tesla here, so that's on the 18th of October. So with Tesla, we've been looking at wave 1 and 2, and I've just dragged this into being 1 and 2 here because obviously it's pulled back down into this space. So really, there is good support at the 250, the medium level in terms of the trading levels. So we'll just see how it plays out. Once again, I'm not that confident in the way that I've counted this configuration here. There's different ways to do that. In fact, I could look at that as 5 ways to that point. Whichever way I go, I'm sort of pushing it a little bit. I could put this over to here and look at that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even open it up further. So I just have to wait. Do you know what I mean? What we kind of want is that coming below the level would be fantastic, and then finding support on the level and getting some sort of impulse wave to the upside is sort of what we want. I mean, the smaller the better, because then we can, you know, get a better price. But yeah, as far as this goes down here, there's always a beginning, you know, a middle, and I haven't seen the end of it yet. Do you know what I mean? And then I need to see the turn, and then I need to see the build process, and we build with the build process. So we're just a little bit early yet, so I'll just chill. And we also have to work out that it doesn't turn into a bear market, you know, all of this. I mean, I'm very happy with this being the A wave here, the B wave here, and then all of this is 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth, and fifth. To me, it makes a nice ABC pattern here, you know. So this particular move can be counted in different ways. I grant that. So anyway, just keep building a case. We're doing all the right things. We haven't been lured in and done the wrong thing. So we'll just continue to be a little bit patient, and we'll see how these play out. Alrighty, well that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.